onto the spoilers now.
Spoilers.
You've been warned.
Right. Where to start? Spoileries.
So we mentioned earlier, obviously, in terms of Sam's Captain America, he gets injured a bit more. He's a bit more vulnerable than what Steve was, which I suppose, like you say, it makes his Captain America stand out against Steve Rogers because he has got that vulnerability. He's not got the super serum. So in this, it's referenced in one of the fights that the guy he's fighting with hears one of his ribs crack.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, you see him with a broken arm.
I wonder if that's going to be like his vulnerability is going to be something that carries on in his Cap film.
Possibly.
Like, because obviously you've got people like Hawkeye that don't have any powers either. That
you can see the vulnerability. But I think that's what adds, as you know, I was saying earlier that Anthony Mackie certainly he steps into the role of Captain America and as he makes it his own. And I think the fact that his Captain America has got that vulnerability now that he is fallible in terms of you can injure him, you can completely incapacitate him if you need to, whereas with Steve it would have been...
I feel like the villains are a lot more of a threat to Sam than they ever were to Cap.
And that adds a bit more weight to it now,
Steve,
doesn't it?
Technically. But yeah, because he pretty much gets injured by like every villain in this film in some way or another. Like the fight at the end with Red Hulk as well, I was genuinely like, oh my god, is he gonna not like kill him obviously, but like actually properly hurt him.
That's what,
he looked like super vulnerable.
Obviously, after like I say, he has a sling at that point. He's done some damage to his arm. So certainly that level of vulnerability now is what makes Anthony Mackie's Captain America now stand out compared to Chris Evans's. And that'll probably have to play into the way he does things moving forward. I know the character's probably not going to think, oh, I can't go possibly fight the Red Hulk. I could end up dying. But it's going to play on his mind instead.
It does make you think, like, how would this Captain America like lead a team of super people when they're going to be like, he's only...
Well, that might be why. Maybe he won't be the leader. Maybe they'll get like Captain Marvel maybe to be the leader of the Avengers when they do reassemble, or Doctor Strange, someone that's a bit more got that superhero-ness about them as opposed to Sam Wilson.
Do you think he'd be like a leader of like more ground-based areas? Kind of the Spider-Mans and the Daredevils and the...
Well, no, because Spider-Man's got the superhuman strength and
I suppose he has,
regenerative abilities, but he'll still be part of the leadership of the Avengers in my eyes, because he'll certainly be someone that newer Avengers will look up to because he's been there now. He's been through the whole battle with Thanos and Civil War, and obviously hunting down Bucky and whatnot with soldiers. He's got the experience and the knowledge and whatnot. So he will still act as a inspiration to some of the other newer Avengers and take on that leadership mantle. I just don't know whether or not he'll be the leader like Captain America was before. But certainly, like I said, he definitely steps into the shoes proper this time. He's made Captain America his thing now. Yeah, and I think the vulnerability that he's got helps with that.
I mean, should we see what role he plays in like Doomsday and Secret Wars? Because he's definitely going to be in them, obviously.
Yeah,
but yeah, same with like Thunderbolt Ross and stuff, really. Because obviously he was the Red Hulk, but then at the end of this, he ends up in the Raft prison. So then, what do you do with that character moving forward?
There is talk of there being a World War Hulk, whether it'll be a film or a TV show. So I suppose now that you know that he can transform into the Red Hulk, you could always bring him back in that to some capacity.
I don't know what role he would play in that film.
No, I'm not too sure either, but there's a possibility that you could do that. Because now you've got him, She-Hulk, obviously normal Hulk, Abomination,
boring Hulk,
Hulk's son. 5-6 Hulks there now that you can all have like an... I don't know, maybe Wong will do his and then just stick them all in a ring and they'll just have it out.
I do think I don't know if this is a thing in the comics of Secret Wars, but I do think there's going to be some aspect of people having to fight each other, like to survive, like people that we know.
Battle World, I think, is so Doom condenses all the timelines down into one thing, and I think that's Battle World, and that's where they all sort of fight it out. So whether you'll see more than one Hulk in that, maybe, because obviously it's going to be kind of difficult for him to kill off a Hulk. So, yeah. What did you think overall then? Now as we can do a bit more in depth on the characters and whatnot about Thunderbolt Ross and his Red Hulk.
I like that they teased him. Like, how far into it was it? Like, because obviously,
I think it was from
he kept getting this kind of like
pretty much from that opening scene, wasn't it?
Because he was like, and you could see him like
he opens up
wrestling with something.
Opens up his little thing, and he's got his little pills and whatnot.
It was quite obvious that was the thing that was making him Red Hulk. Though, wasn't it, from the start? It wasn't like a surprise. Like, oh, it's the pills.
No. I think from. If you're not too into maybe the lore and side of things, someone could have gone into that thinking maybe the pills are suppressing it, and that's what's stopping him from being the Red Hulk. That's why he's taking them so often. Whereas obviously they flip it around the other way, and it's actually that's what's making him become the Red Hulk instead.
Yeah. Because then people would be like, "Oh, how did he become the Red Hulk in the first place?"
He was obsessed when he was obsessed with creating the super soldier serum. So
yeah, he wouldn't have tested it on himself, would he?
It depends on how desperate he would have gotten towards the end.
But I did like Harrison Ford. It was so funny seeing Harrison Ford as a Hulk.
Yeah.
I never thought, that was not on my bingo card for the MCU. Harrison Ford, Red Hulk. Of course he's going to do that. But I think he really enjoyed it though, to be fair. You could tell he enjoyed being that role, to be fair. It's not his first time being the president.
No.
But
well, they missed an opportunity. Obviously, in Air Force One, obviously, when he smacks Gary Oldman, it's like, get off my plane. They could have had an opportunity. I know he wasn't on a plane in this, but he was on a boat maybe. They could have had something where he was like, maybe, get off my boat, bang. Just as a little nod to the last time he played the president. Yeah. Maybe smack when he finally turns into Red Hulk and he fights with Sam. Maybe it could have been. No, because he hasn't got the speech capacity.
I like that he just knew how to do the Hulk clap like that as well. Like, he just did it.
Yeah, again, that's probably because he's analysed everything that Bruce Banner can do. So he knows that he can do the clap. He knows he can jump long distances and things like that. So he's probably just thinking, well, anything puny Banner can do, I can do better.
But yeah.
Obviously. Say Giancarlo's villain, Sidewinder.
Sidewinder, yeah. I don't know
I'm not too familiar with that particular character, but I thought the role that he played.
I like that they got through a whole Marvel film without killing any of the villains. Though.
Yes,
they're all still in play.
Yeah.
So.
I think his character Sidewinder was interesting because he's introduced fairly early on. So do you think he's in there maybe sort of as a distraction until you get the real villain reveal?
I would argue that what's his name's not even really Red Hulk's there. He's not really the villain, is he?
He's not the one I'm on about. Not the leader.
Oh, okay. But then.
He isn't actually named as the leader in this.
No, I suppose there's no real reason to call him the leader, is there? I mean, he doesn't.
Maybe that's a monocle he gets later on when he comes back.
Maybe, and his head looked a bit weird. Did you like his head? Did you like that it look more naturalistic, or? Because it just looked like a more like tumours and crap, didn't it? It didn't look like a huge head.
I suppose that's but it would look. Can you imagine? Because they would have had to CGI'd that, because I can't imagine it would have been easy for the actors to walk around with this like giant bulb on his head.
It was CGI'd anyway, wasn't it?
Well, they probably could have done it as like prosthetics, and it would have been more bearable to wear. Whereas if you've got this big bulbous, like bulb-looking thing on the top of your head and you're having to walk around and whatnot, ultimately they would have ended up CGI'ing that, and then you're then falling into the whole. Oh, is he going to end up looking like Mordok in Quantum Mania, which is terrible. So I think by scaling it down to what it was, was probably the best idea. They could probably make it look bigger if he ever appears again, but
it was a bit lame though, wasn't it? His little scream thing that he did.
yeah.
When his plan didn't work.
Yeah.
That was a bit villain, super villain. I was like, lame.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was alright. I like that they used him to be like, oh yes, I know that you're gonna have to like protect this world. Whoa, and you have to fight other ones.
Yeah, they used him, so
that was a bit. Yes, I deduced this just because I'm clever.
I'm clever and I can look at mathematics and equations and blah this and blah that, and I know there's a multiverse out there, and you're going to have to fight them all at some point. So it's sort of nodding towards Doom.
Yeah.
And what's coming, but
with that line, I'm intrigued to know what is going to happen. Because does that imply that universes that we already know are going to all clash?
I would have thought so.
You know, like the X-Men universe and like, I don't know, Deadpool characters and Marvel characters and
old Spider-Man characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be like No Way Home, but like on an extreme? Do you think where
possibly,
they're all like mingling and clashing into each other?
Quite possibly.
Because that's just going to be
quite possibly
chaos, isn't it? I don't think how the Russos are going to like streamline it.
That's for another show.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Did you think of the cameos now that we can mention the cameos?
I like Bucky. The Bucky was in it. That was random.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a familiar face.
That's probably kind of helped with the fact that these have been filmed relatively close together, so they were able to keep that pretty. I didn't see anything online to say that Bucky was in this. They brought him in for a purpose when Sam's sort of struggling emotionally and mentally about what's happened, and they brought Bucky in, and he's picked him up, which also shows how their relationship's developed. So they've gone from this hate relationship to a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, when he left, he was like, "Oh yeah, I love you, man," and stuff. I was like, did that feel out of place? I didn't know whether it felt, because I didn't know whether they were that close.
I think it just shows the progression of the relationship between Sam and Bucky. They've over time. I
suppose there's been time when they've not,
that
we've not seen that they've known each other. I suppose, but it's felt a bit weird.
It was a good cameo. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And
Liv Tyler at the end coming back as
that was good.
Betty Ross.
Kind of teased it with her on the phone. And you're like, oh, is she just going to be a phone and be a voice?
You know what? I thought that. So
because she kept showing pictures of her, didn't I? I was like, is that what it's going to be?
Little pictures and whatnot, which you can kind of get away with and whatnot. Yeah. So pictures of her on like Thunderbolt's desk and whatnot. And then he has that phone call, and there was a part of me that was thinking, well, if they put this in now and you're not getting a cut to her on the other end, it's just all from his point of view. Is that all you're going to get? She's not going to make a visual appearance? And then I was like, does that mean that is it even her? Is it like an AI voice maybe instead that they've done to make it sound like it? Well, then obviously they bring her in at the end, and
but it was nice,
nice little callback to the Incredible Hulk film.
But it'd be interesting to see how all the Hulk stuff moves forward, because I don't know where you put a Hulk film really. But
did it bother you? And this is something that I saw the critics say a lot before we saw the film, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, but in my eyes it does kind of work. Did it bother you at all that it did have a subplot that suggested this was an Incredible Hulk sequel? Because obviously you've got a Red Hulk, you've got the leader who is in the previous Incredible Hulk film, even though for a brief moment. Obviously there's quite a lot of characters that were in that original Edward Norton film. Yeah. In this. And there's quite a few little strands from like what would normally be in a Hulk film. Has that bothered you, or do you think it went rather well?
That's quite a comic booky thing to like carry over stories into different things.
Because I did see that there were quite a few people were complaining this is more a secret Incredible Hulk sequel as opposed to a Captain America film.
But I don't feel
I thought it worked rather well.
I don't feel like Sam lost any time. I feel like it was still his film.
Yeah.
Personally. I don't know about you, but...
No, I did. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, because he had plenty of screen time. It's not like he was sidelined for lots of Harrison Ford and Liv Tyler. Like Liv Tyler was only at the end, and Harrison Ford was kind of central to the film, really. Not central, but like he was part of the plot. Like it wasn't just like he was shoehorned in. Like he was part of the fabric of the film. So, and he had a lot of scenes with Sam. So
yeah.
I think it worked quite naturally. And I like that Sam's got his own little sidekick now. I think that's quite cool.
Oh, his version of Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the aerial.
But he develops, doesn't he? Like I say, like we said in the non-spoiler.
Because he was in Falcon.
They introduced him in Falcon Winter Soldier, yeah. And they hinted at that he was going to become the new Falcon, and then obviously in this, he doesn't get given that title until the end, even though it was sort of a jokey manner. But
he talked to him about like the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's like
much like the TV series, and this has gone to show how Sam's cap is different to Steve's cap. I think with the character of Joaquin as well, they've shown how his Falcon's going to be different to Sam's Falcon. So he's very computer savvy. So there's quite a few scenes where he's like hacking into things and he's downloading stuff and he's like doing files and things like that, which is not something you've seen Sam do before.
Yeah,
he was
so
more
it's kind of a bit.
He was more the frontline soldier type thing, whereas his character's maybe a little bit more back and he's done more of the tech side of stuff. So it's going to add to that dynamic between those two as well, that they both now have got different sets of skills.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
thought he worked well.
If this is like, obviously part of Phase 5, then I think this is definitely one of the stronger ones out of the bunch.
The ones we've had so far.
Yeah, but there's some good stuff still to come in Phase 5 there. What we got? Thunderbolts looks alright. Daredevil looks awesome. And apparently Ironheart finishes Phase 5, which seems an odd end, but yeah, that's where it ends in June.
Still no Armour Wars yet.
Oh, we haven't had a proper trailer for Ironheart yet, which is slightly worrying considering it comes out in like 3 months.
Well, Vision Quest, unless they're going to be part of Phase 6.
I think they will be, because Vision Quest doesn't come out till like next year.
No, fair enough.
I think, or the end of this year.
Armour Wars, we don't even know if that's going to be a film or a TV series at the moment.
I think it's been sidelined, hasn't it? Now,
it's been sidelined completely.
Completely, I think. Yeah. Just fobbed it off.
It needs to try and work Brody and War Machine back into it then.
Yeah, because I think everyone really, didn't like the fact that.
It was a Skrull one.
Yeah, basically, like from
Civil War onwards.
Yeah, which kind of basically undermines him being by Tony when he dies as well, because it wasn't even him; it was a Skrull. So that's a bit rubbish. And does that mean that the Skrull was crippled, or that? Oh, in fact, no, because it was switched in hospital.
Maybe.
Is that what you were trying to say? Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Possibly. I'd have to go back and watch it. Secret Invasion.
Because he was in a gown, wasn't he, when he came out of the pod thing? So I'm assuming that means that he was swapped in hospital. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, I don't think people reacted too well to that, which I think kind of made them rethink the whole Iron. What's it thing? Wars, or whatever it was called. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts next, isn't I? I think this has been a decent. I don't think people will be too let down by this film. To be fair, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, should be good.
So hopefully it'll get us rolling to a good Marvel year. Hopefully,
first blockbuster of the year out of the way. What score out of 5 do you give it?
I think like a strong 3.5 stars or whatever it is. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah. 3.75, I think I'd go for. I think it was I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I mean, I haven't really said anything that I didn't like.
No, it was. I wouldn't say it was the best of the Captain America films, but
I definitely think like Winter Soldier had better, because it was more on the ground combat, wasn't it? Whereas this was a lot of flying and stuff.
But no, it was enjoyable. 3.75 out of 5 for me. 3.5 for you.
Pretty strong.
We'll go from there.
I mean, what are we going to be doing next Marvel wise? It's going to be Daredevil, isn't it?
Daredevil next year.
Awesome. Can't wait.
I can't wait for that either. Anyway, right. Well, that's the spoiler review, which will be. Hopefully, most of you will have seen it now, so we're not going to be upsetting too many people.
And we hope that you've enjoyed our reviews of Captain America: Brave New World. And if you could, if you want to leave comments or like and subscribe, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah. We'll see you again for our next review. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but there'll be another one soon enough. Thanks very much for watching.
See you later.
Bye.